So one of the things I have been seeing getting posted a lot on YouTube and on social media regarding YouTube is the fact that YouTube has been overtaken by these spammers and these hackers, and that many channels are being hacked right now, maybe more so than usual. And I wanted to make this quick video addressing some of those issues because I think some of it is overblown. It often is when people, get hysterical on social media. But there has been a drastic increase in the number of spam comments on YouTube in the last month. I noticed it almost immediately when it started, and it started right around the COVID-19 shutdown, when many states were doing these mandatory self-quarantine periods where pretty much most of the U.S. has been shut down for about 2 months. Many businesses have temporarily laid their workforce off. And like every other business, Google was not immune to this. They have basically been running with a smaller crew, a skeleton crew. And because of that, I noticed almost immediately, like that first week after everything shut down because of COVID-19, a massive increase in spam on YouTube, because I guess YouTube just didn't have the manpower to really combat this. And it really all started, I guess the first spam bot I noticed 2 months ago. And I can spot these spam bots, a mile away. As soon as somebody posts something, I can tell a real human being isn't actually behind that post. And the one that really caught my attention a couple of months back was a guy named Tom, a spam bot named Tom. And then, Tom, after I reported him a million times and removed all of his comments, about a week or two later, I noticed Tom was back, except he had changed his name to Tom the Canadian. Or maybe it was Tim the Canadian. I forget. And then eventually, I guess enough people reported Tom the Canadian that the username became Todd, I think. Then it became Call. And then in the last couple of weeks, I've noticed Vaxi is the spammer, the name. And then Vaxi became Logan. Various spellings of Logan. I've seen at least half a dozen different Logan channels, and it's all the same guy. It's all the same guy behind the same spam bot. What he does is he just keeps changing his account name. Now, it's obvious that these postings are spam because it's always the same message. Hey, want to be friends? So you guys have seen probably in the last few days, Logan is the spam bot. And you see this post by Logan. It's always got the same icon, the same avatar, and it says, want to be friends. And sometimes he'll post it 3 or 4 times in a video, and it'll usually be in the first minute that somebody posts that video. You'll see 3 or 4 posts by somebody named Logan, and it's all the same message, want to be friends. That's obviously a spam bot. Even more obvious is when the spam bot says something like, hey, great content, want to be friends. And they're posting it on a video that really had no content at all. For example, if somebody posted, you see this all the time on YouTube, hey, I'm quitting YouTube. Somebody will post a video, I'm quitting my YouTube channel, I hate YouTube, I'm never coming back. And then you see the spam bot say, great content, want to be friends, right? You know that that's not a real person, because there's no way they watched that video if they made that comment. And sometimes you get people sharing really sad stuff about their personal life, people that have passed away, or maybe they've been struck with this terrible illness. And then you got the bot, commenting, hey, great content, hilarious, want to be friends. And, they didn't just watch that video about this person announcing that they've been diagnosed with cancer. So it's pretty obvious, the spam bots. But for some reason, some of you guys, especially the smaller channels, I know some of you guys start channels, it's hard to get subscribers. Maybe you only got 10, 15, 20 subscribers. And you're not getting very many views, so it's rare when you get a view. So if somebody comments on your video, you're excited and you want to respond to them. You want to pin and heart their comment and reply and everything. And many of you guys with these smaller channels especially are falling for the spam bot. You created your very first video, you uploaded it, and then Logan posts, hey, want to be friends. And you're all excited because it's a real person. Guys, especially you smaller channels, I know you're so excited because you got a comment, but a lot of that is just spam comments. And please be careful with that stuff. Don't reply to the spam bot. Don't pin, don't heart, don't subscribe to his channel thinking, well, he probably subscribed to mine, so I'm going to subscribe for subscribe. Don't do any of that, because you do put yourself at risk a little bit when you start interacting with the spam bot, because, there is a real person behind it, a real hacker. He's trying to attack you in some way, and you're just giving him a little more information every time you interact with him. At the very least, you're telling that hacker, hey, I'm gullible enough to believe your spam bot is actually a real person. Now, here in the last few days, what's really got people worried, especially those of you with YouTube accounts and channels, especially if you got content sitting on those accounts, is we've been getting reports of people claiming that they have had their channels hacked. And some of these people are blaming the Logan or Tom or Vaxie, it's all the same person. They're blaming that spam bot or the person behind that spam bot. That person did it. And the reason is we had a guy make a YouTube video about a week ago claiming his channel was hacked. They got through his two-factor authentication because he had it turned on, and he was completely locked out of his channel. And he said, right before all of this happened, he responded to the spam bot, one of these Logan spam bot messages. He responded to it, or he subscribed to the guy's channel, and then the next thing you know, his channel's hacked. Now, me personally, I think that's just a coincidence because channels get hacked all the time, and I'll tell you exactly why channels get hacked all the time here in a minute. But I think this was just a situation. This spam bot is spamming every single channel on YouTube. And of course, some of these channels eventually get hacked by other people, not the spam bot. It's just a coincidence. I think that this guy responded to the spam bot and subscribed. I don't think you can't be hacked just by responding to a spammer. But saying all of that, I did say you probably shouldn't respond or subscribe or anything to the spam bot because it does give them some information. At the very least, it tells the spammer that you are kind of gullible, that you are kind of dumb enough to believe his spam bot is a real person. That gives him at least some information that, hey, you know what? If this person is willing to believe that my spam bot is a real person, what if I sent this guy a phishing email? He'd probably believe that too. And I think that's more of the problem. So the guy behind the spam bot, what information can he get if you reply or respond to his message? Well, on YouTube, for me, if I post a video and you guys reply in the video, I have this turned off because I get so many comments. I get thousands of comments a day. But especially smaller channels, you probably have it turned on that every time somebody replies or comments on your video, you get a message about it. The spam bot would also get that message if he posted a video, but he doesn't get a message about it on other people's videos. So I don't think replying to the spam bot does anything. It doesn't give him any information. He doesn't know who the heck responded to his comments. So I don't think that's an issue. Now, pinning and hearting, when you do that, people get notified. Like if you make a comment on one of my videos and I heart it or pin it, you get notified that I did that. And the spam bot also would get notified if I did that. If he spammed my video with a comment and I pinned it, he would know I pinned it. Also, when people subscribe to you, you can check that information publicly if they're willing to share it publicly. Many people turn that off, but a lot of people just publicly share their subscriptions. So if you're one of those people that publicly share your subscriptions, if you were gullible enough to sub to Logan's channel, the spam bot's channel, yes, he knows you sub to the channel. Now, again, it doesn't really give the spammer any information. All it tells him is you're kind of gullible, right? That you'll believe anything. Now, there have been people trying to figure out why the spam bot is so successful, why it's everywhere and just spamming all these channels all over YouTube. And one of the theories that people are starting to put out there is it has something to do with all these websites and applications and browser plugins that need third-party access to your YouTube account. We all grant access to these third-party services to our YouTube account, many of us. Some of the most obvious ones are social media sites. How many of you have granted Facebook and Twitter access to your YouTube account so you can log in to YouTube through Facebook or Twitter, or to automatically post to Twitter every time you post a YouTube video, things like that? Now, anybody that maybe has hacked Facebook or Twitter or that plugin, plugins like browser plugins, one of the more popular ones is a plugin called TubeBuddy. Many content creators on YouTube use the TubeBuddy plugin. Now, because it's so popular and it's a big thing, I doubt TubeBuddy has been hacked. But many of us have granted this TubeBuddy browser plugin access to our account, and it has complete and total access to everything in our YouTube accounts. I'm talking about it knows subscribers and comments. It can look at all my dashboard information. It can do anything. It can delete videos. The TubeBuddy plugin actually has the ability to remove content. So if somebody got in through that browser plugin, the TubeBuddy plugin, they could do anything they wanted to my channel. Now, me personally, I don't think the spammers have access through Facebook or Twitter or TubeBuddy or anything like that. But I'm glad people are putting this out there as a theory, because you guys, if you have a YouTube account, especially if you have content, you have a YouTube channel, have you ever gone into your YouTube settings and seen everything that you've granted access to your YouTube account as far as all these third-party sites and browser plugins? If you haven't ever checked that, and many of us never go and check that stuff, like you grant Facebook access to your account, 5 years ago and you forgot about it, and Twitter and this browser plugin and that browser plugin. If you went to your settings right now and checked everything you granted access to your YouTube account, I think many of you would be shocked. There might be 10, 12 things in there, and you probably don't even use but 2 of them. Go and disable all of that stuff. Anything that has access to your account that doesn't really need it, disable it, because that's just another way for somebody to hack your account if they wanted to. Now let's talk about just general good practices on YouTube, but really on any site. For one thing, don't share a public email on YouTube. Don't share one. There is no reason to post an email as plain text anywhere on YouTube. Many people do this in the About tab on YouTube. You go to the contact information and somebody will share a public email, so you can contact me about doing collaborative videos or sponsorships or whatever. Don't post your email address as plain text anywhere on YouTube, because these spam bots are just going out and crawling YouTube, and every time they come across something that looks like an email address, they're going to grab it. So if you're going to share an email address with people like your community or whatever, just do it on camera. Do it in a video. That way a spam bot can't just go out and grab that. Or post it in an image, because images are not plain text. Maybe have your email address in the channel header somewhere, because that's a little tougher for a spam bot to go and figure that out, right? But if you just put it in plain text in the About tab on your page or in the show descriptions of your videos, that's just too easy. You're going to be just flooded with spam, because it's just too easy for these people with bots to go and get your email address. The second thing I strongly advise all of you guys is never use your Google contact email as the public facing email you share with the public. So if you're using, hey, my name at gmail.com, and that is the email that Google has on file, that YouTube has on file for your account, never share that publicly. Create some random email address to share with your viewers, something that Google and YouTube doesn't even know about. And that way, if that email that you're sharing publicly is ever hacked, they can't get access to your Google account and your YouTube account. And I think this is probably how many YouTube channels actually get hacked, is they share their Google contact email, and then somebody figures out their password, brute forces their way in, because they used a weak password. They used some stupid password, 1234 as their password. Now I've got access to their email. And you know what? I'm going to send them a very official YouTube email, a email from YouTube, maybe about a DMCA complaint or a copyright strike or something, and say, I'm YouTube and we need more information from you, and I'm going to ask you for all this information, and you're going to believe me because it came from the email. It's addressed to the email that Google has on file. And you're probably kind of gullible anyway, especially if you were already one of these people that subbed to the bot channel or pinned or hearted his comment, and that's how they get in. They fish you with these emails. The other thing you really should consider is you need to have a different email address, and especially a different password used on every single website. So don't use the same email and password on Facebook as you do on Twitter, as you do on YouTube, etc. Because by having different emails and passwords for each site, if one site is compromised, you don't lose the others. But if they all have the same email and password, then when one gets hacked, guess what? They can go hack your Twitter account and your YouTube account and your Facebook account, Instagram, whatever it is. They can hack everything because you use the same email and password for every single thing you do. Don't do that. Everything has to have a separate password, especially, but you probably should also create a unique email address for every service that you use. The other thing is, if you have a YouTube channel, I'm telling you guys right now, go turn on two-factor authentication if it's not turned on. Use the Google Authenticator application as well. Every setting that you can set in YouTube to make it harder to actually log in to your YouTube account, please go activate all of that stuff. I'll activate everything. Now, getting back to some of the fear that's being spread on YouTube and social media about the Logan bot. Logan is not a hacker. It's just an automated bot that's going around and posting all these automated spam messages. I'm not exactly sure what the point of the spam bot is. Don't worry, you're not going to be hacked because the spam bot posted on your channel or you might have replied to his comment or anything like that. But here's the part that really bugs the crap out of me about the spam bot is what the hell is YouTube doing about the spam bot? Because I don't see YouTube doing anything about this problem. This bot has been up and running for 2 months. It changes its name every few days. It was Tom, then Tom the Canadian, Tim the Canadian, and Todd, and Call, and Vaxie, and now it's Logan. I don't know what the spam bot's going to be called next week. But what exactly is YouTube doing to prevent this massive amount of spam that's being posted all over the platform right now? Because I don't see YouTube doing anything. I have been getting these messages on my channel in my videos every day for the past 2 months, since the beginning, since, again, about the time of the COVID-19 shutdown began. And I report every single one of these messages I see on my channel. And most of the time, these messages aren't deleted, or if they are, it takes hours or days. I don't come back to it. I typically only hang out in a video for a few hours after it's posted to comment to you guys. But if it takes several days for these spam messages to be deleted, I don't know, maybe it does. But I know it takes more than a few hours because many times I'll come back, 3-4 hours after a video has been posted and I reported the Logan bot and his messages are still there. I'm not exactly sure if the bot is doing something to prevent YouTube from catching it. I know the bot's constantly changing its name, but it seems like Google is $1 billion company, right? Google/YouTube, it's $1 billion company. They have so many resources out there to combat spam. And it's just strange that they're being beaten by one guy. I'm sure it's some young kid, and he's Canadian because he's mentioned that he's Canadian in a couple of his usernames, unless he's just saying that to throw people off. But this one young crazy Canuck is right now he's beating YouTube. But I find it ridiculous that a $1 billion company is struggling at fighting spam where like the really small operations like Library has no money. It's a small team. And, the Library platform is better at fighting spam right now probably than YouTube. Now, don't get that twisted either. There's a ton of spam right now on Library, but the Library guys know their platform is being attacked by all these spammers and they're actively combating it on a daily basis, trying to improve the platform. I understand why a smaller platform like Library, has problems fighting spam. It's just limited resources. It's going to take them a while to get up to speed on what they need to do to prevent these kinds of attacks. But, that's just growing pains with Library. But YouTube, you need to get your together. Now, before I go, I need to thank a few special people. I need to thank Michael, Mitchell, Gabe, Arch5530, Chris, Chuck, DJ, Donnie, Dylan, George, Haplo, Nate, LibreQuest, Omri, Paul, Rob, Sean, and Willie. These guys, they're the producers of the show. Without these guys, this episode that you just watched wouldn't have been possible. The show is also brought to you by each and every one of these ladies and gentlemen. These are all my supporters over on Patreon. Without these guys, the channel wouldn't be possible. The show you just watched wouldn't have been possible. If you'd like to support the channel, consider doing so. You'll find me at DistroTube over on Patreon. All right, guys. Peace.